Welcome back to GDQx. We are about to go into Earthbound. We would really like to make sure that you get your names in that you want to have. We are going to do a last call. We are cutting off names for the start of the run in the next 2 minutes or so. So make sure you get your donations in for that. All right, and we are all set to go. We are going to go into Earthbound by Ultimoice. If you're ready to go, let's pop it over.
Well, I think we have a winner for the kids' names, right?
We do. Yeet is in fact number 1.
All right, then we're ready to go. So, ready to count it down?
Ready when you are.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Yeet. All right, well, this is Earthbound. I'd like to thank GDQ for letting me break my favorite game on stream and get to play it again this year. I'd also like to thank everyone that's here on the morning shift, everyone watching at home, as well as there in the audience. And
You're so welcome.
special shout out as well to the guy behind me, James, who's too humble to tell you, but he is the new 90% world record holder as of last week. As well, yep, I'm here it.
Thanks, man.
Outstanding runner and outstanding guy, so give Classic James a follow and some love. And I'll turn over to him for a little bit because I'm going to be doing some manipulating.
Yeah, so you might be wondering why the character names had to be just one letter each. Part of that is to save the frames, but part of it is he's going to be doing some very precise RNG manipulation here. Anytime a letter is printed on the screen, it's going to advance the RNG, so we need to keep them all just one character names. So just, to keep it simple, the manipulation is essentially from console on, and if you do the same thing every time, you get the same results. It's a little finicky at times because there's movement-based RNG and also all the RNG from text printed on the screen and from NPCs moving. The cracked bat is not actually needed for anything fight-wise, but if he doesn't get it, Pokey won't let him leave the house later on, so.
I feel like manipulation's free now, right? I got the correct bat.
Yep.
Good to go.
The bat boss is done.
Yeah, so there'll be a little over 7 minutes of manipulation here at the very start.
Yes, right here is kind of a tricky spot, especially if you're new to the run. There's actually some NPCs off-screen to the lower left down there by the Traveling Entertainer's Shack. And since you can't see them, it's hard to know if you're walking in the correct way, that they're moving the correct amount of movements. But Ulti's done this so many times, it's just muscle memory at this point.
Doesn't mean I won't get sub-pixeled or catch a wall or something. But we have backups just in case. But we'll hope to hit it. It's easier that way.
Yeah. So like he'll be watching this cop up here to make sure that he's on the correct RNG.
Up, down.
Yep.
Perfect.
So now we know we're right on track. So you might be wondering if you saw Ulti's SGDQ run, he got all the photos in that too. And the time for that was around 4.5 hours, so why is this like half the amount of time? Well, the photo percent category was created by Aureliux back in 2015, kind of meant to be like a, cross between glitchless and any percent. It's got a lot of the fun glitches, but it still collects all the photos, so it needs to do a lot of the story aspects of the game still. And
And photos are actually the only thing in the game that's really tracked, right?
Yeah, because it would really be the closest thing to 100% that we can agree on, because you can track the photos in the end credits, and any other kind of 100% involving item drops and stuff would just be kind of convoluted.
So everything affects RNG. You might want to explain some RNG facts as well, because
Yeah, so RNG 1 and 2 are affected by all the text that prints on the screen. Anytime an NPC starts moving, stops moving. And then there's RNG 3, which is movement based, and it's a 64 by 64 pixel grid. So essentially, anytime you cross into the next square, it's going to advance the RNG 3. And the RNG 3 has been off up till this point, but now when he goes outside, it'll be back on again. So movement will be very important.
yeah, basically if you're in your pajamas, RNG3 is not really turned on at the start.
So unfortunately, we can't get the dog like Ulti got last time, because it'll throw off things.
Yep, no amount of convincing.
So anytime you see him doing a little AB or a check or a talk to, it's all to advance the RNG to a known value, so he doesn't take any random encounters here.
Yeah,
And
you saw that crow kind of run from me? It's actually a game glitch that we exploit quite a bit. He's actually trying to attack me, he just derps out and goes the other direction.
yeah, certain enemies, their movement patterns are kind of a circular swoop, so before he gets to you, he's gonna swoop away from you. And that's how he gets stuck behind trees like that.
I did remember to plug in my controller to slot 2 so we can show off some swag bolts here.
Yeah, neat little visual glitch coming up that Ulti discovered purely accidentally way back in the day.
Yeah, and it got a lot of publicity actually, because you play a game for 25 years and all of a sudden something new happens.
So it just so happens, if you have the controller plugged into the second port and you mash B and select, the bolt there just goes crazy.
Yeah, you can even hold it down to just make the beam go in the reverse direction, which makes it seem like Buzz is coming from heck.
So here's where we're getting the start of the storyline here. Buzz comes from the future to warn Ness that Gygus is trying to attack from the future, and he's the chosen one to take him down. And he also explains that he's gonna meet 3 friends along the way, and of course Pokey here is not having that. So that's a lot of inputs there. It's kind of a fun fact. We used to grab the bread roll here to give to Apple Kid down the line, and it's not needed for any of the glitched categories, so we just figured out how many inputs would replace picking up that bread roll, and it saves a few seconds over that.
Yeah, and you also notice that I'll use straight pathing as much as possible. It actually skips a couple frames when you're doing cardinal movements. So we only use diagonals if it's going to save space.
So this fight is scripted. In a casual run, it's pretty much impossible to die. You'd have to grind up to a level 12 so Ness can cancel out the shield. But it is important that he gets 1 HP here and that his stats match up for his further manipulation down the line.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of manipulation in this run, so you'll have a lot of time to figure it out.
And in this fight, the reason this is so much more optimal is because Starman is guarding every time, and it's so much faster than his typical fire attack. So there we go. Starman manip is done. He's going to continue manip down into town, but it's not as important now if he were to drop it for some reason.
Yep, we're just about to one of the newest tricks found in Earthbound. It's going to save us quite a bit of time, because it used to be thought impossible to get through Wonet in any category, or Wonetty, depending on your pronunciation. But recently a Tasser, say the name, James, I always miss it.
Hirohiko,
Yeah.
who's had the, he created the original any % task kind of that's been around for years, and even that task didn't skip Onet, it still had to do the whole thing. And just recently it was discovered that we can use a really cool glitch to skip the vast majority of Onet. Now, even if we could find a way to skip this first part with Starman, it's kind of an interesting fact that a lot of the photos that we're going to collect in this game don't actually get triggered until we do this Buzz Buzz cutscene and go into daytime ONET.
Yeah, so at least in this category, we wouldn't be able to get all the photos if we didn't do this.
Yes.
It would essentially soft lock the photo % run.
Very important that you don't tell Buzz Buzz you want to hear his story again there.
I know, what a troll game this was.
Yeah, if you just keep pressing A, you'll sit in that story until the end of time.
But there's actually 2 buttons for yes, 2 buttons for no. It makes smashing interesting. I can't tell you how many times I go into casual streams, and they're using AA to talk to people.
Yeah, but saves a lot of time over the course of a whole run. So Alti's going to stop in and pick up the map here. That may seem like kind of a strange thing to do in a speedrun. There's a couple reasons for it. When we do out of bounds glitches later, you can either pull yourself back in bounds with the town map or with the soundstone. The town map will only work in a handful of towns, but it's about 2 seconds faster than the soundstone, and Alti's going to be able to use it enough to justify running in there and picking that up right now.
It also prevents a soft lock I didn't know was possible until you told me.
Yes, if you, because for this run, both the town map and the shyness book are used, which you get both of them at the library. And if you, for some reason, I don't know why anyone would ever do this, but if you accidentally get the shyness book before the town map, the lady at the front desk won't let you get the town map. She'll just talk about the shyness book. May have potentially killed a world record run way back in the day, unbeknownst to me. So he's getting money here to pick up some items in when we get down into Tucson. And he's making a save and a reset here. Anytime you do a hard reset, it's essentially setting the RNG back to 0. And you could theoretically carry it down from the beginning of the game, but this manip is just too easy and too awesome to do from the hotel. So I'll try to explain this a little bit. Essentially, the game can only handle 21 sprites on screen at a time, and they try to fix any potential shenanigans by only spawning 10 random enemy spawns maximum. But because some of the spawn tiles will spawn multiple enemies, just watch this truck here. Boom. So what happened there was he had so many sprites loaded in that the game couldn't handle it, and it had to replace one of the sprites with something else. So Alti is going to do a technique called stutter stepping here. Essentially, certain enemies only move when you move. So he just has to tap a little bit and he can get by those enemies. And then these mushrooms have a pretty small aggro radius, so as long as he keeps his distance, he's not going to have to worry about that. So that's just such an awesome glitch. Really, anyone could try that themselves. Just make a save in the hotel, copy what Ulti did, and you'll probably get it. And it saves like 9 minutes over just doing ONET regularly.
Yeah, it really is simple. I watched a video and did it from the video one time.
Yeah, it's incredible. So shout outs to both Pirohiko for discovering that glitch and Oxwas, who had the glitchless record way back in the day. He has developed an interest again, and he created the Earthbound version of the manip because Pirohiko was working on the Japanese version. So Alti needs that cookie for manip coming up, and then he's going to buy 4 skip sandwiches to do the next big skip here. There is a chance that something can go badly. It's only supposed to be a 5% chance, but sometimes it seems like it's more than that. So he's going to make a quick safety save over here in the bus station.
I am, and there's 2 reasons. You can actually soft lock yourself if you don't do the cliff skips well enough.
Yeah, if you run out of sandwiches, then you could get stuck between 2 cliffs and the run would be over essentially. You'd have to find a random spawn up there on the cliffs and die and then go do ONET all over again.
Let's not do that. Not today.
So these cliffs here are supposed to be impassable. You're not supposed to be able to get through them, obviously, but for some reason, you can wedge your way in. And if he gets in that spot like that, you essentially just tap left and down and you'll get through. Nice.
All right.
And there's a setup here that Daniel RGT came up with an ulti kind of, yeah, very nice. That was awesome.
It's maybe the best cliff skips I've ever done.
get that world record with the safety save. So that went so fast I couldn't even explain it. But essentially just do what he did and you'll get through everything.
Yeah, you just gotta slide in those cliffs like a DM.
Yeah. And that 5% chance I was talking about is already gone. It's when you come out of that tunnel, there's a chance you're just on top of an enemy, and they're super gonna overpower you at this point in the run.
Do we have a second for a quick donation?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we have $15 from Bacon Raptor. Finally, we can enjoy the full fuzzy pickleness of this game. Wouldn't it be nice if someone spends money for every time we hear fuzzy pickles?
That would be awesome.
Well, that's gonna be 32 times. Let's do it.
Do you mind if we have a couple follow-ups?
Yep.
Fayette98 donates $25 saying fuzzy pickles.
Nice.
Wolfgang donates $15 saying fuzzy pickles. So that's 3 for those of you counting.
Awesome. Speaking of fuzzy pickles, we're
Here
getting
we
our
go.
first fuzzy pickles right here. Get your peace signs ready. It's a little disconcerting when this creepy guy falls down from the sky and takes your photo, but
It's one of the odd things of Earthbound. Hopefully everyone behind me did it. No one gets out.
but it is they space them out nicely through the course of the run, like if you're doing a casual playthrough, and then it gives you a nice little slideshow at the end to commemorate your journey.
Can I catch her? Let's see if I can catch her. Got her.
Got her. So she's not programmed to have any dialogue there because you're not supposed to be able to talk to her in time.
Now, all of a sudden, Ness just walks into something weird in this hotel room, but notice he's by himself. And then randomly, out of nowhere, he just wakes up with Paula. How did she get here? I don't know. She's going to pull Final Fantasy VII, though, and just kind of like hop in his pocket. There we go.
Yeah, pretty much the game doesn't check to see that you actually rescued Paula the way they're intending. And so if you make it to this cutscene, it'll just put Paula into your party. Helps a lot for the glitched categories.
And now we're to Winters, also known as the memeiest of the lands.
With the best music.
Debatable. Definitely has the worst character.
Also debatable. But yeah, here's where we meet our friend Jeff, who thankfully in Photo Percent we don't rely on him as much, but we still have to rely on him a decent amount to the point where he has plenty of chances to let us down.
And he will, I'm sure.
But you gotta feel for the kid. I mean, his dad lives 5 minutes away and he hasn't seen him in 10 years.
That's true. There aren't a lot of great father figures in Earthbound as you kind of think through them. Because Ness's dad is essentially a phone.
So we're meeting our good friend Tony here, who wants to help us on our journey. Interesting little fact is there's no way to do this in a legit run, but if you use some Game Genie or Game Shark codes and break Tony out of the school, he can actually have battle mechanics if you take a fight. I'm not sure if they were originally intending there to be fights for him to take, but in a normal run, there's not going to be any random encounters that he could ever fight, so I found that interesting.
Now this trolley sequence here is actually in every Earthbound category.
Yeah, no escaping it. This guy just sends you on a wild goose chase for no reason. Ulti did a nice little frame saver there where you check the locker from the far right side rather than walking right underneath it. And you are required to pick up the pop gun or you won't be able to leave. You don't have to equip it, but he's going to pick up both the Holmes hat and the pop gun just for encounters down the road.
Yeah, because I'm not going to try to manipulate anything in Brick Road. So we're going to have to fight it. Part of it's for the fun of it, because if Proto kills us, at least we'll all get a good laugh.
So that was Tony's entire use for this game, is to help you get over the fence there.
Now, I never specified who the worst character is, but honestly, it's that guy at the door.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I don't think you'll find one runner that will disagree with that.
pretty much Bubble Monkey. In a casual run, you love him. He's cute. He's adorable. He does this little thing where he'll stop and kind of look around, smell the flowers. But in a speed run, you're trying to avoid enemies, and his movement pattern just makes it really hard to predict what he's going to do.
That movement.
Yeah.
And it's very randomized.
There's a lot of enemies that if it was Jeff only, you could just walk right by him and it would never be a problem. This is something he was doing in Graveyard. We didn't touch on it. He's despawning enemies by kind of scrolling them off screen. And there's a certain chance that enemies will spawn on any kind of spawn tile. And if you scroll it off screen, it'll go again. And he'll try to get to the point where there's either no enemy there or one that he can just walk around.
Yeah, and that is 100% spawn plate, so that it being empty probably means I hit a random RNG3 value, which is the tile-based RNG value that is very rare, but if you get that on the spawn trigger, then you actually get this even 100%er for free. We got the shorter text box too. That's my lucky day.
So we got another Fuzzy Pickles coming up, guys, if you want to get your peace signs ready.
And then going back to glitchless is hard because I always get this photo now.
Yeah, I know.
Redbeard donates $20 saying Fuzzy Pickles.
So make sure everybody's spamming their MS Paint piece, and we have time for donations if you have more.
Okay, great. I have a bunch hold up here. We have $50 from Baby Z. Hey Ice, huge fan of your commentary. So glad I could catch your run live this year. Good luck. And we have $25 from Mystery Man 39. Excited to watch one of my favorite sleeper hits. Can't wait to see this game be broken to shreds.
It will be broken. I can promise you that.
If I might point out here, what point do you want to cut off the player name?
We'll let you know. It's a ways off. We got
Okay.
some time.
So for those of you that are looking right now, the current player name choices are Niv Mizzet the Firemind, which is in the lead for, it's exactly the right amount of characters. It's in the lead with $244.22.
Yeah, when that was debated earlier, I was like, no, Ori knows.
And then there's You Are Not Alone, Mega Man, and the Chat.
So yes, we call this MS Paint Beast very lovingly because it looks like something you could make in MS Paint.
Yeah, just look at that smile and those two dots for the eyes. Fantastic. So Alti's going to walk down left here, and there's an 100% goat spawn down there, but there's if you walk in a certain way, it'll make it in the corner there, so it just won't spawn. And so we do that every time.
Yeah, that's actually a code error. It's an off by one error in the code. If you're a technical person, then that's a common programming error that exists in Earthbound. For the longest time, we didn't know why. All right, hardest enemy time. Let's go.
Yeah, really nothing you can do here. That's not a great start. We want to make sure Jeff doesn't miss.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Will he claim another? What?
Come
What?
on, Jeff. All right,
Oh.
nice.
We're basically done.
Yeah, that fight is just hard because Jeff is pretty... Well, Jeff actually can't miss with his gun, but the Proto can dodge him, and he tends to do it all the time. So there's so many things that can go wrong there. He can just hit you 3 times. He can call for help. Jeff can miss. Nice. So Alti was dragging the duck down there, and if he gets it in the right spot, when it tries to come up to aggro Jeff, it'll just get stuck on that wall over there.
That was actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So this photo right here is one of the reasons we can't try to do the new Winter's cliff skips, because it's so deep into Brick Road that it wouldn't save any time to skip all of this. Very nice. 2 skips. So he's going to save here for some more little manip for the Pond Cave. It's not strictly necessary, but Pond Cave can be really annoying. You can just lose a lot of time re-entering caves. But with Bubble Monkey, Manip is a little bit more tricky. But again, you know, if you're just doing the same thing every time, he has to get in that door as fast as possible.
Ooh,
And
I missed an input. Eat an input, so we'll have to do Pond Cave the old-fashioned way now.
no big deal. So Ulti has a really a knack for sensing these spawns really early. So you might see him walking back and forth, and you might not see anything yourself. But he, just based on the lag, knows that there's an enemy over there. And so, yeah, he essentially is just going to have to despawn everything. There's these ones he can stutter. Mice and slugs are those same enemies that only move when you move.
Bubble Monkey can screw that up too if you're not careful.
Yes. And right here, he pretty much has no choice other than to just keep loading the area until it's empty. And the mushrooms, again, he needs them to be in a spot where he has enough distance where he can walk right around them.
These are 33% chances to be empty. So anytime I despawn more than 3 times, I've lost those odds.
So there is some equipment up there in the pond cave, but it's not useful for any kind of speed run. There is a bottle rocket over to the left that he's going to grab just for safety. The big reason that Jeff is so useful for speed runs is he has his bottle rockets, and we know that their damage range is based on his speed. And so if we get items that increase Jeff's speed, it makes his bottle rockets very overpowered.
Good thing I didn't get in that other fight. I forgot to heal.
Oh, wow, yeah. So he needs to make sure Jeff's HP is high enough for the Manip coming up here. This is the worst part as far as the time-consuming aspect of going up and down the rope to despawn. He knew he could get those mushrooms stuck right there.
That's why I had to wiggle up and down. That's just experience, is knowing that that would aggro, and if I just went for it, it would loop around the wall and probably get me.
Yeah. So this is a photo that is somewhat common.
Look at this guy.
Wow. This one can be easy to get accidentally sometimes if you're trying to outrun a cave boy and you forget that it's there.
He was playing pretty good defense on that one, though. A cave boy.
Yeah. He was right on top of the photo trigger. And these cave boys move slower than Jeff, so as long as they're far enough away, you can just walk right around them.
But they would lay the smack down on Jeff if you got in a battle with him.
Yeah.
So.
They do tend to miss a lot early on, but if they hit him even one time, he's done. So here's the dad we mentioned earlier.
My son? What?
He asks if he wants a donut. Asks if he's seen Stonehenge, and then he runs out of things to say pretty much.
Yeah. Like, all right, we caught up. See you in another 10 years, which he literally says.
Yeah. So he's doing another save and reset for manipulation here. This is the most important manipulation for the run in a sense, because it's what sets up all our out of bounds in the future.
Yeah. This one I cannot fail. I mean, I can, but it's 2.5 minutes on this cutscene, so if I failed it, we'd have to watch the Skyrunner twice.
So this is another great time for donations here.
Yep.
Alrighty. You'll have to excuse my lateness. We have a $15 donation from Airnick15 that says, "Been loving the chill feel of this event so far." And then Kamka donates $25 saying, "Great to donate to such a good cause. Keep it up." And as a reminder, we still have a player name that needs to be... it looks like right now we got some pretty interesting choices for the names. Right now, Niv Mezit the Firemine is in the lead with $294. And then You're Not Alone is right after with $155. So if you want that to be changed, if you want the player's name to be your name or someone else's name, whatever name you want to choose, as long as it's appropriate. Go ahead and send in those donations so you can get that in.
Ori, what are you doing to me? How am I supposed to even spell that?
The way it is, it's like NIV-MIZZET.
Just a minute time loss, no big deal.
I think that's his goals. How could he make the most time loss?
But again, Ari is the one who created Photo%, so big shout out to him. It's what got me into speedrunning Earthbound. I loved the idea of it.
Yeah, Ori created it, James perfected it, and then I came in and just ruined it for everyone.
Just did it.
It's really fun. It's kind of like a puzzle to route it because there's certain photos that require certain things to get, and it's how can I get these the most efficiently.
Yeah, if you're a math person, think of about 50 factorial is the amount of combinations that you could have because each trigger is 1 and the combination is basically endless. So routing it is probably the hardest thing I've done in my speedrunning career as far as routing goes. It took about 6 months to get perfect, which normally does not take that long to route something. So I have a lot of respect for both Ori and James who pioneered a lot of this run.
So the whole reason we got Jeff is to bust these guys out of the prison here with his bad key machine. And Ulti's doing a more manip here. He has two backups for whether or not he hits the text here for the bad key machine. So you can technically skip that text where it says the door is locked, but obviously for manipulation you would need to know what value you're on. So he's gonna come out here, he's gonna take a zombie fight, and he needs to get Ness a cold, and he needs to kill Jeff and Paula.
By cold, I guess it means the GDQ flu.
Yeah. So how the out of bounds can work in this game is the stairs are removed from the sprite sheet. So if you're entering onto stairs at the same moment that an alert box pops up, it'll just push you off and you'll be out of bounds. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can either do it with a cold alert or you can do it with a call from Mock Pizza. So he used that cookie to make sure he gets away with the right HP here. And he's just going to walk right down, and as soon as he steps onto the stairs, it should push him out of bounds. Nice. So that opens up a world of possibilities here for the run.
And we're out of bounds.
So, very nice. So the way Earthbound is laid out is it's all on one big map and with areas right next to each other, and that's how we're able to traverse such long distances so quickly when we're out of bounds. And again, you use the town map there.
There's a lot of tricks that are happening here, so give James some time to explain them all.
Yeah.
a lot of things just happen.
Yeah, so you are, obviously as he showed, you are able to get photos out of bounds, which is nice. It can save a lot of time. So whenever you hear a music change, you know you're going to the next area. And so he's setting up what's going to be his out of bounds file for the entire run. And it's very important that he's as far right as possible there for all his manipulations he's going to be doing later. And so this is the second form of out of bounds. If you die on stairs and then you go back to the menu screen and then you open a file, you will be out of bounds. And so he's going to actually copy this file to the second file slot. And then anytime he can do a save and reset, load up the second file, go die on the stairs, and then reload up the first file, it'll just be out of bounds.
Yeah, we use terms like soft reset for that. Let's see, copy, make sure I do this right. It's a very important part. Select this.
Yes. If he forgot to copy there and I didn't catch it or something, it would be pretty bad. So he's using this bread roll here. Unfortunately, got the max roll there. He would like it if it was a low roll for the bread roll because he's setting up a death warp. The food items in this game are random, but they're within a range.
Notice the music changes, because the music changes are how I'm really knowing where I'm at.
Yeah,
in the spreadsheet.
that's his cues for when he's gonna use the soundstone or the town map.
And going through doors puts me back on the sprite.
Exactly, yes. So there are a few areas that would be super useful if we could get to out of bounds, but there are no doors there. One of them being later on at the end of Magic Hand.
Second I say yes, the game already saves. It's that fast. It tries to make you think you have to click more times than that, but you don't.
Yeah.
So here you're going to see this happen a lot. So remember when I copied this file over a second ago? You're going to see this alternate universe Ness collapses in these stairs a lot. He's not having a good week.
Down he went.
And it is important that he says no to the first option and then yes to the second. But for some reason, the game makes it so you can't press A for yes on the second one. You have to actually move the cursor over.
Here we go again. Reminder, this is on a console on the original cart.
Yeah, and anyone can do this. The setup can be a little tough to get. You might have to wait a long time for HP to tick down, but anyone could set up an out-of-bounds file if they want. So here he's picking up the Crystal Charm. I mentioned earlier that Jeff's bottle rocket damage is based on his speed. So the Crystal Charm gives him 15 speed. So it's very useful for these early low-level fights that he's going to be taking. And there's also photos here that he's going to need to get anyway. So Ulti routed it in where he could get that as early as possible.
Yep, one of the route changes that I made when I took a stab at routing this myself. So it's very important. Spawns are on right now, and anything here will whoop me pretty good, so I have to make sure I dodge enemies here.
Yeah, it's one of the few spots that is still pretty random for this route.
At least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to stay all the way away from that guy.
Now, time-wise, it doesn't actually really matter if he has to despawn anything because he's going to wait for his HP to tick down for the Death Warp, unless there's an enemy right there to do a Death Warp off of.
Yeah, and there's not. And Bukas are not a great enemy, so you normally want a UFO sitting around here someplace.
Yeah.
Like that guy, no. All he do is screech at me round after round.
It would end up taking up way more time than just waiting for the cold damage to tick down. So he's taking care of pretty much everything he needs to, and now he's going to be going on a quest to get the fourth character, which will give us the teleport ability, which will really help get around.
So one time we'll say yes to that right away.
Yes, because now his cold is gone.
Now, I did talk to the master, and doing that sets up a cutscene-ish thing. So everyone who's played this knows Pooh sequence, where his ancestors brutally rip off his arms and legs and eyes and ears. But we don't have Pooh with us, so this is a glitch that if you've seen this run a lot of times, you take for granted, but it is pretty cool.
Yeah. And as far as what Ulti has to do here, his only requirement is to not press the B button. I don't know who would ever do that on a good run.
There's some runners that I'm not going to call anyone out, but some runner I know has done it 3 times.
May or may not be the person sitting on the couch here. So yeah, all of a sudden, the 3 kids disappear and it's just Pooh.
Yeah. He's not even going to be in... It's like Pooh's almost using these guys as a paladin of sorts. Just taking the damage for him. Or T, I guess, is Pooh in our
Yeah,
yeet.
yes.
We got to keep up the illusion. So he's not even here. It's the laziest ancestral quest.
This is a pretty scary part of the game when you're a kid and you're sitting alone in a dark room.
That's only the beginning.
All the audio is gone at this point.
Because he tore off your ears.
Very eerie.
Very eerie.
Yes.
That one wasn't my fault. I just called it out.
So Ulti succeeded in not pressing B there. They do try to trick you by the first person that comes up tries to trick you and tell you have to go back to the master, and then if you go back, he's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't say that." But then when they come back again, they say the same thing. And you believe from the first time that you really do have to sit there, and you just wait for an hour and then say, I guess I got to go somewhere.
Yeah, we can get a donation or two if you have one.
No problem. We actually have a $10 donation from Black Knights 2013 that says, just remember, fuzzy pickles. Good luck to Alti and the rest of the runners to come. GDQx hype. Oh, and before I forget, kill the frames and save those animals.
So here, again, Pooh's not even here, and he's just getting levels from the journey he didn't go on.
What a stealer.
Yeah. Like, oh, look, I know teleport now. Let me show you.
So just like that, 39 minutes into the run, we have all 4 characters. It's pretty nice. So yeah, at this point, Pooh is very useful because of that teleportability. Because if we didn't have that, we'd be very limited in where we could save and go out of bounds from.
All right, a little bit of menuing here. I have to move the teddy bear. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because Paula has the teddy bear standard in her inventory. And when you glitch out and get her the glitched way, it won't actually show up unless you move it to somebody else. So he's going to save again and set up his next out of bounds here in the hotel. This fight that he's about to do next is, in a sense, it's not required for photo percent, but it's required for a different boss that is required for photo percent. And there are ways to beat him without doing this, but it'd be very, very hard to manipulate just based on what level Ness has to be at to do it.
Man, upstairs really don't like him.
No, he trips a lot. It's like Mario Kart, banana peels at the top of every set of stairs, apparently. So I did have to actually get Jeff on his feet for this one.
Yeah, that's what he picked up that cup of life noodles way back in Dalam for.
Now just remember I do this. Now you may not see the significance of ducking in that tunnel, but just remember, you're going to need to know that in about a half an hour when I explain a trick. Or, well, James will probably explain it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in this run. He'll do something and then you'll forget about it until 30 minutes down the line when it'll be very important.
But don't you forget about that.
So there we go.
That's the good thing about having the crystal charm.
Easy peasy.
I've only seen one person miss that big bottle rocket here in all of my time watching Earthbound.
Yeah, it is possible for the big bottle rocket to miss completely, which is crazy because the way the big bottle rocket works is it's the equivalent of 5 regular bottle rockets. So first, based on your speed and based on your enemy's speed, it's going to roll to decide how many of the bottle rockets will hit, and then it also rolls to see how much the bottle rockets hit for. So for all 5 of those rockets to miss is just incredibly unlucky for that to happen.
Yeah, it's fraction of a percent.
So we got a lot of levels here.
So remember, Ness was level 2. And, Jeff wasn't far behind him.
So he has to pick up this jar of fly honey for the boss fight that's required for some photos coming up. It's going to do a swag teleport there. An interesting thing is a teleport beta goes in a circular motion, whereas a teleport alpha you can steer. And the teleport alpha saves about 5 seconds over the beta, so Alti's going to see how many places he can do those swag teleports in to save maximum time.
So sell an item there.
Yes, he has to sell an item there for... He explained this to me yesterday, and I'd never heard of it, but there's some kind of glitch where after you do the meditation sequence, it reverts your money to where it was before. So he needs to have enough money coming up to buy a show ticket.
Yeah, all I really need is about $35 for the first part of this run, but I didn't even have that. And we haven't really beat any enemies yet, so until
Yeah.
Boogie Tint.
Yeah, and that's how the money works in this game. Your father deposits in your ATM account, but he deposits based on what enemies you've killed and how much money is designated for those enemy kills. And in Photo Percent, we really don't fight very much, so money is pretty tight.
This is a weird out of bounds that doesn't really have an audio cue. So I just have to hope that I do it right.
Yeah, for some reason, some of them won't change music. I still don't really understand why that happens on certain ones.
So this guy wants some food, but I'm just going to give him a bottle of water. That works, right?
He's not picky about his definition of food.
I mean, water is really good in the desert, so.
Yeah, who knows how long he's been standing out there. So Ness managed to get Sunstroke there in about 3 seconds,
Yeah.
but shouldn't be a big deal. There's enough full heals scattered around throughout the course of the route.
We're going to go right back there and do it again. You're going to see this sequence happen a lot, this out of bounds sequence.
Yeah.
I promise there's more photos soon.
Yeah, the nice part about that ONET skip is it really starts the photos so much quicker now, because it used to be you waited about 30 minutes before you even got any photos.
So we are fighting the stairs at the end of this game, right?
Strongest boss of all.
Use the town map. It's faster than the Soundstone when I can get away with it.
Yeah, and again, it only works in Onet, Tucson, Threed, Fourside, Summers, and Scaraba. And there's also strange aspects of it where if it's a cave within the town, like Giant Step, for instance, you won't be able to use the town map for some reason, but buildings will work.
Which we're about to see because we're about to get the Fourside teleport.
Yes. But he won't be able to use the town map because the tunnels are also kind of considered a cave, if you will.
Just cleaning up a couple photos here that are on the way.
So yeah, he's going to go straight to this tunnel that leads into Fourside, and it also accomplishes picking up the Fourside teleport. Certain teleports are just based on a door or an entry, and others are based on an actual event. Like, he doesn't have the Threed teleport because he never got to Threed the way the game intended.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teleports I'll just never get.
Yeah.
All right, so here's, I guess we never explained the Gold Cave triggers because we just did one of them.
Yes, so when he went and gave the food to the guy in the desert, and also now he's gonna go in here and talk to the theater manager, that's all to set up being able to, he doesn't actually need it to get into the mole cave, but he needs it to get out of the mole cave with the correct spot so he can get the photo there. It's actually some of the most intensive stuff you have to do to actually get a photo in the run. There's so many parts to this. It takes like 10 minutes of just doing things to get this one photo.
Yeah, the department store in Fourside I'll be doing throughout the run. There's no real way I can describe all that's included because I'm just doing it constantly. It's a very hard photo to get.
So this is one that probably a lot of people may have missed casually. It's just such a strange spot, but it allows the guy to stand right on the ledge there. And having Fourside teleport and also Monotoli building is so useful for this run because it's very central in that overall map of Earthbound, and he'll be saving here quite a bit.
Yeah, and if you want to follow along at home, it's easy as Google searching Earthbound sprite sheet, and the first link will have a full one. You can try to follow the paths we take, but we'll be going a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive how some of it's set up. Like neighboring towns will be all the way across the map from each other, and certain buildings will be right next to each other you wouldn't expect.
So we just kind of memorize it. Now here's one of my favorite tricks, and James actually found this trick when we were routing pajama % back in the day, and I believe, right? That's when.
Oh
you
yeah,
found it.
that's true. I did find that. So for one of the photos, it's required to pick up the Hawkeye, and we originally thought the only way to do that was to go inside the pyramid and enter the door and then pick up the Hawkeye. And then we realized you could get it out of bounds, which was nice, but we thought that the area had to be loaded to get it.
Yeah. So just watch what I do here in a second.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's one of my favorite tricks that have been found in modern day.
So he's just going to look at the screen here for a visual cue of where he wants to be standing.
All right, let's try to line. There we go.
Yeah, the TV was a little different. So he was trying to line up the edge of the TV with that. And so because of that, you're able to get the Hawkeye without even loading the area. So you don't even need the soundstone, and that's why we were able to do it in pajama %, because you never pick up the soundstone in that. But it was important for Alti's photo route to do it as well, because he doesn't want to load the wrong area. He wants to just be able to get it out of invisible and then come back to this area.
It is impossible to beat this guy without either flash, high-level flash, or without fly honey. So that's why we had to take down Boogie Tank.
You can poison him, but it takes about 30 rounds for him to die, so not useful in a speed run.
Hopefully it hits the teddy bear. It did. 75% chance of that.
Yeah, that's the teddy bear's biggest use, is that it's supposed to absorb 75% of the chance that you'll attack one of the kids. And so all of the going into 3, beating Boogie Tent, getting Fly Honey, beating Belch, that's all just required for 2 photos. And he'll be getting one of them here shortly, and then he'll get the other one later, and we'll mention that again.
You're about to see the Saturn Valley teleport, which is something I found. You're going to hear that a lot between me and James. We spend a lot of time in the game. So.
Yeah, this was one that we all just assumed you couldn't do because it's such a tight spot. And Alti's like, "Are you sure?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're sure." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And then he teleports out of there, and we're like, "Oh."
But this actually, did you just mention that? This gives us 2 photos.
Yes.
Beating Belch, yeah.
Yeah.
One you won't see until we have to remember that 3 tunnel thing I did. Or I guess it's a 3 tunnel, but not the 3 tunnel.
So there's a little cup of coffee there in the stump. If you want to waste a few minutes but have an enjoyable experience, you can drink a cup of coffee there with the Mr. Saturns.
I need to go to Tucson. Yes.
So yeah, it's very precise where he has to stand, because if you crash into anything, the teleport ends and you have to try again.
This photo is always here. This is just our first chance to get it.
Yeah.
Something we have to do is we have to get Paula some levels. Eventually, we do have to get her on her feet, and we're just going to do it right now. But it's also going to give us a couple photos into Lamb that spawn the second the poo sequence ends.
Yeah. That's important to note too, that while it's useful to get poo early and get the teleport, it's also required. You have to go through that meditation sequence and get poo that way to be able to get the Dalam photos.
And we don't have the teleport because we never went through Summers to get there.
Yeah, exactly. So now might be a good time for a few more donations.
Porn. Corness. We have a $50 donation from Black Tongue that says, I'm having a hard time concentrating on the game with such a much magnificent beard on the couch. Keep up the good work. Love and respect. I don't blame you. It is, I mean, it's there. It's very questionable.
I know, is there even a speed run going on? Oh, that's the wrong place.
No, the manipulation and all of these glitches can be done on emulator, virtual console, pretty much any form of the game. Just happens that console is the fastest. No.
No, no.
Okay.
Oh, wow, yeah, we're going to have to hot swap. So he's asking for a very specific reason. All right. So that full heal there is a very quick full heal. And it's important to get Paula, but also to refresh everyone's psychic points.
Yes.
All right, next we have to go to Winters. We're going to do a fun glitch here that's in a lot of the glitched runs, which is turning off spawns using the Poke Fight, which is, I love showing off this one too for people that haven't seen it.
Yeah, I wish I knew offhand who first discovered this one. I want to say it's either Falix or Daniel. But the gist of it is that there's certain spots in the run where it'll turn off spawns because there's a scripted encounter or something and they don't want a random spawn to get in your way. And but if you break the game and do things out of order, you can break yourself away from some of those things and spawns will just stay off until you do something else that would elsewise turn spawns back on.
Yeah, so basically another cutscene will turn spawns back on, which we're going to try to avoid from here on out.
Yeah, he's going to save that all until after the majority of the run.
Yeah, because Magic Hand's required, and that is a cutscene when you beat it. So we will get spawns back on regardless when that happens.
Yes. So he's trying to wait to use the Soundstone as late as possible to reduce lag here, because there are still random enemies. They can't get him because he's out of bounds, but it does waste time. But he doesn't want to get too close to the photo because for some reason, if you load an area and you're already within range of the photo, it won't let you get it. You'll have to scroll off screen and go back to get it again.
So here we go, another photo.
Yes.
This is just an inconvenient photo to get, so I just get it now.
Yeah, it's pretty out of the way. It's also one of the few that's required in the glitchless run. Most of them are avoidable, but this one's just right there in that path to get to Belch's base.
You don't have teleport to skip it or anything at that point.
Yeah.
And this sprite just happens to be loaded, which leads me to Paula. And I have no explanation. There's no meta story for this. This is just twins.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Some cloning experiment gone wrong.
Alternate universe here. They're colliding.
We'll come back to this Paula later. This is the real Paula in this jail cell. I won't spoil it for y'all.
So yeah, when he walks outside is where this this scripted fight normally occurs, but since we got Pooh out of order, we can just teleport right away from it.
Yeah, he's ready to fight, but we're just like, nope. Sorry.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you come walk back through here later on and you go through Peaceful Rest Valley, Pokey will walk halfway across Peaceful Rest Valley to fight you.
He really wants to fight.
Yeah.
So what do we got up next? Mole Cave, I think, right?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. I got the list of photos here just to make sure he hasn't missed any, and we're all good so far.
I know, I feel like I'm being like graded on a test.
Normally, when we do speedruns, we have our splits, which are, have all the photos there just in case for some reason we forget one.
What are we at? How many photos have we done?
We have done 17.
Over halfway there.
Yep. There's 32 total, and one of them is actually just automatically put into your photo inventory after you beat Gygus. So there will be one final Fuzzy Pickles peace sign on the Gygus kill. And again, all the setup for Mole Cave, Ulti already took care of that. He's getting to it out of bounds, and all this will be here out of bounds. But the photo is at the entrance of Mole Cave. And if he just tried to walk out right now, it wouldn't be there. And he does have to beat all of the moles to be able to get that photo.
All right, Paula's level 1. She's not going to be a lot of help here.
So this fight is manipulated. It's the only one because there's a lot of movement going on inside Mole Cave. But after he gets this fight down, 2 freeze betas will take out any mole.
Yeah, we just want Paula to get a little bit more ripped.
Yeah.
She needs to drink her protein after this battle and gain some HP.
Yeah, it is possible that if you get unlucky and the mole decides to kill Paula on turn 1, it can actually be able to kill her in the time because of all the text, but Ulti has an extra couple life noodles just for safety in case that were to happen.
I don't yet. I used the one I had on Jeff, but I'll get one after the Mole Cave. There's a refreshing herb in Mole Cave.
Yeah, there's a secret herb in Mole Cave. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
I thought you already had that extra cup.
No.
So we gotta hope that doesn't happen.
I could actually probably still survive. I would have to take a couple of other items.
Yeah, I mean, because the two freezes will always kill the mole. It's just a matter of does he do his attack and then does he choose Paula out of all the 4 kids?
Which happens more than you think.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen that often. So he's picking up this picnic lunch here. That's not just out of habit from Glitchless. He is gonna need that, but it's not gonna be for a long time.
Although bringing the mole to me probably is a result of glitchless training.
Yeah, that's a glitchless technique to make sure you don't spawn enemies down below.
Bye, Teddy. So
After this one, Paula should be good.
I actually want the Teddy to die in the Mole Cave someplace. I don't really care where, but otherwise I have to throw him out right afterwards.
Yeah, it just kind of gets in the way otherwise.
His fate was already sealed. Don't feel too bad for him.
So there's really, he has to fight all 5 moles and then he's gonna walk out. So he can really do them in any order. There's not any particularly more optimal route than the other. Because he is gonna keep that exit mouse later on for a cool little exit mouse glitch rather than entering this cave as intended and then exit mousing out to the entrance of it. And it ends up saving time overall. And he will also pick up an item in here for some extra money, because like we mentioned before, money's pretty tight in this route.
Yes. This and PJ, the money is always one of the hardest things to route. See, now we have to mash this through.
Yeah.
The rolling mechanic, though, in Earthbound makes it really easy to mash through, because even though he hits 0, he goes back to 1 because we beat him in time.
Yeah, it's fantastic for the speedrun. And Ulti's the king of mashing, so we knew we were fine there. Even with the solidify text.
I'm not even trying right now. That's too much HP. They got to make it more challenging. If it had been Paula, that would have been a challenge.
Yeah, but that scrolling HP mechanic is so nice rather than just taking mortal damage and automatically dying.
Oh, I'm going to have to heal him twice.
Yeah, he needs his HP to be over 100 for his manipulations.
Yeah, they're all micro manipulations, so I'll not do a long string of manipulation. It's more just little bits and pieces.
And the manipulations all have to be to the point where they're not stat dependent, because all of these levels he's getting are going to give him random stats since they're not manipulated. It's not too bad to manipulate where it'll just work for any range of stats.
And if you are new to Earthbound in general, and think you're taking crazy pills because these all claim to be the third strongest. You're not taking crazy pills.
I think the theory is that there was some kind of round-robin tournament, and they all won and lost an equal amount of fights, so they are all ended up being number 3. So I think it's just one more mole, right?
Yep.
And he picked up that bottle rocket earlier, and Pooh's psychic points can be too low here. I didn't see where they were, but it's possible they're too low to do a freeze beta, so having the big bottle rocket for the final mole is nice.
He has enough for a freeze, but not for a teleport after the freeze.
Oh, gotcha.
It only works if it's on Jeff, so I've got to do that.
Yes. That's why he's so useful, but also so potentially disappointing, because he's the only one that can use those.
I'm gonna argue he's useful. He's useful. He just fails so often. He's just such a disappointment. He's not. Even when he introduces himself, he's like, "Yeah, I have a lot of problems, but be my friend."
At least he's honest.
Yeah, that's true. Don't fail me, Jeff. We're gonna put faith. Thank you.
There you go. Still kind of low.
Yeah,
Considering he has the crystal charm. So he's gonna go ahead and walk out now and get that photo that, like we said, it took about 10 minutes of setup for one photo. But we gotta get them all. That music changes after you defeat the final mole.
Another thing I have to do now that I'm gonna say beforehand, so I don't forget, is I have to talk to the miner.
Yes, you can actually, you could actually soft lock the photo run. Like, you could finish the run, but you wouldn't be able to get all the photos. Because if you don't talk to the miner and then you drop down into Lost Underworld, he'll just disappear.
I think it's even after Starman. He just disappears.
I think there's a couple things that can trigger him to disappear. So, and it is required to talk to him for something else later that will be required for another photo later.
That's all I had to do, just talk to him. He's just lonely. He just wants a friend.
So having spawns off here is really nice. This can be a brutal part, trying to walk through the open desert here. And so here's the life noodles that I was mistaken. I thought he already had. This is his safety life noodles for the rest of the run. It's conveniently right here.
This sesame gives us a photo.
Yeah, it's a nice little side quest. There's a white sesame on the other side of the desert. His long lost love.
We're not going to actually reunite them, though, unfortunately.
No, it takes too much time.
Look at all those stroking out kids.
Yeah, anytime you're in a desert area like that, it's a certain chance that kids can get sunstroke, and it ticks down about 2 HP every time. Not an issue right now, though.
Yeah, there's a full heal I'm going to get in a second here.
I was going to say, where's a Stay Hydrated bot when you need him?
I know, right?
Ask and you'll probably receive.
So he's gonna head over to Dungeon Man now. There's a couple ways you can approach this photo. You have to do a certain trigger inside Dungeon Man. So you could either do that and then exit mouse out and come back later and get the photo, or you can go outside the sort of glitchless route with Dungeon Man following you and get the photo there. But he's gonna do it that way so he can also pick up some multi-bottle rockets at the same time.
Yeah, this will be the only chance we have to get multi-bottle rockets.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard item to come by if you don't have teleport to Deep Darkness, which takes a long time to set up. So he needs to make sure he gets all the multi-bottle rockets he's gonna need for all the bosses he's gonna fight. And the multi-bottle rocket, like I mentioned earlier, the big bottle rocket is the equivalent of 5 bottle rockets. The multi-bottle rocket is the equivalent of 20 bottle rockets.
So go up this rope. And then talk to face.
Talk to face. Shoutouts to Ari. He was making some photo percent notes for himself and just wrote talk to face because he knew what that meant. And then he gave them to other people and they're like, talk to face.
Just talk to face. Don't ask questions.
So he's withdrawing money here again for the multi-bottle rockets he's getting. And this is one of those instances where they actually just straight up stole some music and sampled it. This is the drum beat from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Shoutouts to Ringo.
Yep, so we got to get this photo with Big Boy.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't teleport with Dungeon Man, so we still have to go get him stuck.
Yeah, we're going to go do some shopping first since we're here. Sell our one item here.
So this will give him enough for 5 multi-bottle rockets, which is more than enough for what he has to do. It'll give him a safety one as well.
Technically 4. I need 3, and I'll have 1 extra. We don't have enough speed to use them on Gygus, so that's not something we can even consider.
Yeah. That's one big difference of the photo percent. Even manipulated, it's not worth it to try a multi-bottle rocket on Gygus.
Let's see with a slight input delay if I can swag port through these trees.
Got it. It's actually a pretty tight squeeze there. Very easy to mess that up.
Back to the good old Monotoli building.
Now, what is this, like the 6th time we've saved here?
Poor Ness is going to have to take one for the team again.
What is the count on that now?
That's a good question.
I hope someone in the
Yeah.
chat can tell me how many times he's lost to the stairs. I would like to know.
Like the worst Groundhog's Day ever.
No. And everyone's just spamming numbers.
So we just got some multis for the ulti. Now we're going to go use them.
So you're going to Playgrat now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so this one is interesting. It's actually the only Sanctuary boss required for photo percent, considering we skip Onet now. And it's not beating Playgrat that matters, but it's getting the Sanctuary spot for some reason. It'll spawn a photo outside of the museum in Forside. And but the only way you can get Sanctuary spots is if you actually defeat the boss. And I think Playgrat has, what, 1827?
Yeah, something.
It is definitely possible that Jeff doesn't do enough damage here, so he's going to queue up some freezes to go with it.
Yes, I will.
The boss itself is not dangerous to us at this point, but we don't want to take too many rounds.
Oh, of course,
27.
2700.
Wow.
Jeff heard that I was talking crap about him.
I think Ulti's last 2 records, Jeff didn't come through there, and now he did like twice as much damage. You just have to insult him enough, and he'll get the message.
It's 2 E's. I never know which E we're talking about.
Oh yeah, true. So he picked up that exit mouse in Mole Cave. It's actually required for photo percent when you're doing this out of order like this. If you tried to walk out of the sewers, you'd be soft locked by Mr. Spoon.
Yeah.
Blocking the way. And so, like Ulti mentioned earlier when he said, remember this tunnel going out of Threed.
Did you all remember the tunnel that I went in? Because Now you're going to see that plus the exit mouse I got in Mole Cave all come together with some weird glitch. Just remember where I'm at now, and then watch where I'm at after I do it. And unless you specifically recorded that I went into that tunnel, it will make no sense.
Yeah. So the exit mouse is supposed to just take you to the entrance of the cave you're in. But when he does it this way, it'll actually take him back to the last cave or tunnel that he entered the intended way. And since he's done everything out of bounds, including Mole Cave, it takes him back there to Threed, and he can pick up this photo. This is the second photo we mentioned earlier that you needed to defeat Belch for, because all that's required to make Threed happy is to beat Belch, but you do have to do it. And this photo's only here if Threed is happy again.
So if we can hit this swag port, all the swag ports.
100% so far. You got this.
All right, I believe I'm doing Starman next, right? Oh, failed it.
Rip.
It's all good.
I'll try it one more time. Why not? There you go. Redemption. Yeah, first try.
That was for all the things you said about Jeff.
But yeah, so we're actually getting kind of close to the cutoff for player names. So if you guys do want to get in any more last-minute snipes there, this is your chance.
Right now, the one is in the lead. Actually, there's now a new one that's in the lead, and it's Fuzzy Pickles.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Not bad.
that's at 500, and the Nev Mizzet, the Fire Mine, is the second at 319.
Do we have any donations? Speaking of.
Yeah, we do. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous that says, "Happy 6 a.m." Thank you for reminding me of the time. Good RNG for the final day. Save the frames. Kill the animals. And then a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, "Fuzzy Pickles." That's a good one.
Seems to be going around. All right, Starman.
Yeah, I should probably explain why he's fighting Starman, because it's doesn't make a lot of sense. There's a photo, and it's required that you pick up the Shyness book that you give to the Tenda village. And the only way that that book appears in the library is if you fight Starman Deluxe here.
It's actually another one that you have to get in glitchless.
Yes. One of the 3 unavoidable glitchless ones. And again, we got here out of bounds, so we're not going to be exit mousing to the entrance of Stonehenge. Spawns are still off here, which is nice. It's a pretty easy section to get through with spawns, but it's just that much less to worry about.
Let's see if Jeff continues this streak. I feel like he has to let me down eventually, right?
You would think. He knows it's a big stage right now, though.
Yeah, what a showboat.
I feel like this fight has the most chance of going badly. Nope.
Nope.
Easy peasy. I remember I used to pick up a regular bomb in Mole Cave for this fight specifically, and the bomb does around 100 damage or even a little bit less. And it would sometimes still be required because Starman has 1400 HP.
But a lot of speed. He has actually pretty high speed for a boss.
Yeah.
So
So Jeff would just miss him that much that I felt that extra 100 HP was needed.
have we explained speed and the importance of it?
I have about his, bottle rocket damage.
Yeah. So that's basically it, is
Yeah, it pretty
cheese
much
the speed.
takes your party's highest speed member and subtracts it from the enemy's speed and then decides how many bottle rockets will hit based on that.
And then there's some damage RNG as well. It'll do
Yeah.
anything from 90 to 150.
Yeah, so a multi-bottle rocket can technically do anywhere from 0 to 30,000 damage, sorry. 0 to 3,000 damage, which seems like a big range, and you would be right. It's easy to miss on the final boss who has 80 speed, and then if you tried to multi-bottle rocket a runaway dog or something, you'd do right around 3,000. So back again to that 3 tunnel that we talked about earlier.
Yep, and now we gotta go get that shy book. So if I had not gotten the town map, this is where I would do it.
Yes. But again, he's used it so many times. It's about 2 seconds over the soundstone, so it's totally worth it to pick it up early.
You can grab this shy book out of bounds as well, but there's no real good opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
And we'll do another swag port too.
Yeah, this is one of the oldest swag ports. I think Andy Perfect started doing this one. And you just kind of follow the path here.
Trying to think of where I'm going next. I'll just go do the
Tenda?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tenda.
So he's going to be going through Deep Darkness here, and when we hit the Tenda Village is when we're going to cut off the player name. So just a couple minutes here.
Yeah. So final call for that.
Niv Mezit, the fire mine, went back in the lead.
Of course it did.
It's at 569 and 22 cents. Fuzzy Pickle still at 500. So last chance, last call to get in those donations in.
There's still some cleanup on the route to do here. We picked up the Hawkeye. We have not used it yet, but we're about to.
Yeah, the photo in Deep Darkness, it is required to use the Hawkeye. Even though you can get to the spot where the photo is without it, it's not going to be there unless you actually use the Hawkeye. And for a long time, I thought for some reason that Hawkeye turned spawns back on, but in the photo or the PJ percent route kept changing, and then it ended up being worked in where the Hawkeye was used and it didn't turn spawns back on. And I was like, I wonder why I thought that all these years.
Yep, another PJ thing that just happened. All right, can I use it here?
So
Still not. Nope. You have to get down far enough.
yeah, there's only certain spots you can use it.
There we go.
And he wants to try to stay on the trees as much as possible rather than
Yeah, we're just gonna walk on the trees.
yeah, rather than trudging through the sludge. It's a lot slower.
Also, for those who didn't know, we did hit 75,000.
Nice.
Fuzzy Pickles.
Yeah. So, James will tell you when to call it. We're gonna
Yes.
call it soon.
So player name's cut off right now.
Oh boy. I'm just want to make sure this is what it is. And yep, it looks like it's Niv Mezit, the fire mine.
All right, someone's gonna have to explain that one to me.
Yeah, spell it out.
All right. It is.
Well,
Yeah, it's
wait a
like
second.
couple
First, we have
Yeah.
another photo. First, let's enjoy this last photo before we have to live in a world where we spell that out.
All right, here we go.
All right. It is NIV dash.
How do I get to the other symbols?
No, it would have to be the little tilde.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another one for it. Okay.
There you go. And then it's going to be M I Z Z E T space the THE
So, what's after the space?
the
The.
THE and then space fire mine FIREMI
Yeah. Wait, fire.
mind MIND. Yeah.
There you go, Rory. You were one slot short.
You ask and you shall receive.
We're absolutely sure this is happening.
So that Dragonite is a nice little safety. It's so quick to pick it up. He just gives it to you.
All right, and we will reset in about a minute. And so, right now we're getting called by the Apple kid and then the Orange kid, but we've never met either of these guys, and also we don't even have a receiver phone.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're calling us.
They realized that we'd be playing this in 2018 when everyone just has phones all the time.
Yeah. And I need to go Lumine, which is a story trigger. That has nothing to do with photos, but to not soft lock our run, we were going to have to do this.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that's required in like a glitched run of this game. For some reason, dropping down the hole into Lost Underworld is what triggers the phase distorter to be there in Saturn Valley, and you have to go through the phase distorter to get to Gygus, or else
we're ready to reset. We need like intermission music. Hurry, sing a song, James.
Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Yeah, we do have a donation. We have actually a $32 donation from Tycoona and Squid that says $32 for 32 photos. Yay.
Hey.
Let's go, Ulti. And everyone's spamming cat in the chat. That's great. And then we have a $25 donation from Kamada Zero that says, "Hey Ulti, you got me into Earthbound, so it's great to see you run it for GDQx. Good luck for the rest of the run. Fuzzy Pickles."
So are we good on our technical side? All right, you can start up the timer whenever, and I'll just keep going. Okay, cool. Yeah, a couple friends there. I recognize those names. Thank you all for your donations.
Them stairs again.
Always those stairs.
So the nice thing about Photo Percent, we actually haven't mentioned this yet, but it's the only category where timing doesn't end on the final prayer of Gygus, and it allows the opportunity to clean up stuff after you actually beat Gygus. So we're gonna be heading to Magicant after we go down to Lumine Hall, and then we'll clean up a few more things, go to Gygus, but then there's a bunch of photos we can still get after Gygus, which is nice because timing ends when you talk to Mom.
So we don't even have to beat this guy. We're just, nope, just drop down.
Yes. And here's another swag Port Ulti's
I got this. I can do it. We're actually going to go right back to Underworld as well.
Yeah, it's just faster to teleport back in because you walk so slow here.
We're going to hit this. Look, I'm going to hit all of them today.
You got it. You got plenty of psychic points.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can do this one right now. All right, let's try it one more time. Then we'll just do it normal. One more. No. So close. That one was so close. All right, we'll just do it normal.
The hitbox in that world astounds me sometimes.
It's pretty ridiculous.
First try. That's one I just did one day, and I'm like, I haven't actually practiced that one, but I'll start doing that one soon.
Yeah, there's different ways you can go for that. You can try to weave your way through the trees, which is obviously pretty tricky, and then you can try to just spin there. But just the distance that you travel in that teleport is just weird in Lost Underworld, so it's hard to adjust to. So this C pendant is very useful for Gygus. It's not technically needed, but because not everything is manipped in this, Paula's stats are going to be different for the Gygus fight, so it's just seemed to be a problem trying to manipulate the Gygus fight for Paula to not need the C pendant for phase 3, so it's right there. It's much safer to just pick it up. The C pendant protects against flash attacks, and it also reduces damage from freeze attacks, and that's freeze attack and fire attacks. And the freeze attack is something that Gygus does to the whole party.
All right, the stairs again. Who's keeping track? Whoa.
And now I just need like an art of Ness like falling down from the stairs.
I hope I see that on Twitter later.
It'll be like an emote or something at some point.
I like it.
So this is going to be partially manipulated. First Kraken, easier to skip and glitchless than with 3 other kids waddling behind you.
So spawns are still going to be off in the first part of Magic Ant here, but Krakens are still going to be there for Sea of Eden. So he's going to watch this fishman here to tell him which route he's on. It's pretty complicated, but the Death Warp file can really affect things when you're trying to do manip in this run.
It looked right to me.
So yeah, he's just walking through here now. Once he gets past Ness there, nothing's going to advance the RNG.
I did get Famicom there. We'll see if that affects the RNG.
Yeah.
I might be fighting a Kraken. If you want to explain what Famicoming is.
So yeah, he was trying to do one thing on the D-pad, and the controller just told him, "Nah, I'm doing something else."
Yeah.
So he kind of got stuck there against the wall, and it's possible that since it happened where second Ness was moving around in the corner there, it might have thrown off his manipulation here.
Yeah, a lot of runners use the Japanese controller, which is the Famicom, and the D-pad is very unreliable. Let's see if it works. If not, Kraken soup for all.
No, looks good.
Yep. Just gonna do some random inputs, just try to mix this guy up. I know if I leave him alone, it's bad. Which way does he want to go?
Yeah, he wants to drag him over and get him stuck on this little spire here.
All this is much harder with 4 kids.
Yeah. So thankfully that third Kraken played nice there. He does have an extra, well, now he's kind of not playing so much. But he walked down left when he could have gone towards the kids. And you can't despawn Krakens. There's scripted fights. You can try to
Kraken,
respawn
please.
them in a different location.
Kraken, please. And this guy's guarding my despawn.
Yeah. You just really try to use the terrain here to get things stuck. That's so weird.
Yeah, he's not moving.
He really wedged himself in there.
Oh, now he's moving. He's guarding this. Look at this guy. Man,
Yeah, if he does have to fight him.
there we go.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
That's a good one. Okay.
Just got to be patient. So he picked up that Dragonite earlier to make this fight safer. Nessa's Nightmare has 1654 HP, but also pretty high speed. Shield is good.
Yeah.
See that. The only thing he can do there that's really horrible is if he does his flash attack turn 1 and kills Jeff. That's why we have the couple life noodles for safety there.
Yeah, he'll do a Flash Omega on your whole entire team, which has a 40% chance just to instantly KO. So, not something that you want to see on the opening round.
Yeah. Even though you're only supposed to be here with Ness, but he'll still do a multi-member attack. So even though everyone's here with him now, he's gonna have a strange little experience here.
Yes, strange. That's the way to put it.
And you're going to see some graphical glitches. And also, being serious for a second, if you are seizure prone, you might not want to watch as the screen starts to get faster.
Yeah, they toned this down in the Virtual Console release just for that reason. It's pretty jarring, all the quick transitions here. But even with all the 4 party members here, Ness is the only one that gets all this bonus leveling.
Yeah, I love how all their gauges spin too.
Yeah.
It's just like the poo sequence where one kid gets all the reward.
Yeah.
So all that grinding you did as a kid, when you thought all those foppies were helping you get way overpowered, didn't really help you that much.
No. And what's funny is if you somehow grinded up to level 99 before you got here, you don't get the bonus, so you're actually worse off than you would be otherwise.
I don't even remember what a casual level would be at Gygus anymore.
Yeah, Me neither. I think 80, in the 80s.
Here we go.
Yeah, so any donations while we get past our seizure warning?
We do have a we do have a $25 donation from Joka that just says fuzzy pickles. And then another $20 donation from Jino that says say fuzzy pickles. And then a $250 donation from Recursive that says you guessed it, fuzzy pickles.
Hey, R3. So here's this glitch. You can see Jeff is just kind of like, what up? And then, because the team's not supposed to be with you right there, so the game doesn't know how to do that.
And there's actually a crazy glitch that can happen here if you have too many members in your party. If you have like 2 flying men and a teddy bear, Pooh will just walk away and just never come back. There's a great clip of Andy Perfect where he's like, wait, Pooh, where are you going?
He's just out. It's fun when you get into some of the New Game Plus glitches, and the sprites have to go find other sprites that aren't located where you're at,
Yeah,
and they just wander off. They're like, my people need me, and they just run off.
take like 5 minutes to walk all the way across the map. So he did mention what resembled to be a pig wearing clothes there. If you know Pokey, you know that's a pretty accurate description. So
We haven't seen a lot of him, though. The only time he wanted to
Yeah.
fight us, we kind of just adiosed.
So he has to go down and re-enter here to get the Saturn Valley teleport. It's actually really important for the run. And right now he's going to be going to pick up the meteorite. He's going to be able to do it out of bounds, but what's nice is he can actually pick up a photo on the way. And it would have actually been a pretty tough photo to route if you couldn't get it out of bounds, because it's the one inside the vacant house in Onet. And normally you're required to have $7,500 to buy that. And money is just so tight in this route, it would be kind of hard to route it, because you don't get any money when you beat Gygus.
Yeah, you would have to wait till almost the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because you can't get it when you're in the Dark Winnet sequence.
Yeah.
You can't buy it then, so you have to wait till after credits. Or, well, not after credits, but after Gygus.
So this is why the town map is more or less required, because at this point he doesn't have the Soundstone anymore. It is possible to get back here, but it's just so much more convenient to have the map to open up the vacant house here. And this is sort of a weird thing. You're going to see him load up the area, walk out to change the music, and then walk back.
Yeah, it's not a mistake. Everyone who runs this category gets confused here, because I think that's an actual mistake.
Yeah, and for some reason, if you just walk straight to that photo, it won't be there. You got to go change the music up and walk back.
But this also introduces a concept called sprite chaining, which was a pajama enhancement that Hunter actually pioneered. And you can see this sprite's already loaded. We're going to actually take advantage of one of those instances very soon.
Yeah, like we didn't really understand what was loaded with other areas. It seemed really, really random. Like you could go from, you know, drugstore to drugstore, but then there'd be more complicated ones that didn't make a lot of sense. And Aerofram actually put in a lot of work. He created a whole tile set that you could view everyone and what's synced up with the other ones, and it made routing so much easier.
So remember when we beat Mole Cave a long time ago? Getting the diamond afterwards is a cutscene, so I just decided to not. But we still need to do that.
Yeah, it actually turns spawns back on when you get this diamond, so he waited until spawns were back on anyway, because they'll turn back on after Magic Ant.
So it actually makes more sense, because normally in Earthbound, you're like, how did you find something so quickly? Like you just started digging after we left. But in this one, it makes sense because it's been a while.
Yeah.
Things have happened.
So in real life, make sure you always give people food that are hungry, because if they dig up a priceless diamond, they'll give it to you just because they were so happy you gave them a bottle of water.
The things people will do for food in this game. Or water, in this case. So in case you thought we weren't going to see any Runaway 5, you would be wrong.
Yes. Which is both awesome because the Runaway 5 are the best, but it's kind of too bad for a speedrun that there's really no way to skip this. I even tested early on. I was like, if you get a cold and you get down to 1 tick of HP, are you going to be able to somehow skip this? But as soon as you as soon as you give the diamond to the manager here, it makes it so status ailments have no effect. So there's really no way to skip it.
So way after we should be at this point. So we've already gotten to the point where we should be going to Gygus. Now we're just going to do some of this cleanup work. Sequence breaking is so easy in the Earthbound game.
Yeah. So it looks like we're at 25 photos so far, so we just got 7 more to go.
But there's a very lengthy one in the Gygus fight left.
Very true.
And all of this setup is for the department store photo and Foreside. But one of the route changes I made is not actually finishing the Foreside department store now. You'll have to see it when it happens. It's pretty funny.
So this is another great time for donations.
No problem. I actually wanted to mention, because as we're getting, we're like at the halfway point here. We still have a couple incentives and bid wars. The last bid war being the save or kill the animals for the Super Metroid / Link to the Past randomizer. Right now, Save the Animals is winning with 2,211. Kill the Animals is at 1,465. So you will still have plenty of time to get that change. But I thought I'd give you guys the tally for that one. And then we're still trying to get the bonus game for TaskBot for Super Mario 64 1 key. I don't even want to know what that entails. But right now we need 7,500. And we're at 3,949. So we're at a good pace here. We still have some time before that hits. So, but if you do want to see the Super Mario Bros. 3 co-op with Grand Pooh Bear and Mitch Flower Power, aka Consoles Are Gonna Break, that's that's gonna be 20,000, and we're at only 1,700. So if you want to see that happen, get those donations in for that.
So this photo right here is the one that was required to go beat Plague Rat. It doesn't really make sense why they're linked like that. I mean, I guess it does when you're walking out, as you're gonna hit this one.
Yeah, and in Glitchless we would teleport through this.
Yeah.
And that opens up department store. We're going to do a little Gygus shopping here.
Yes.
We have the opportunity.
Yeah, Gygus is really tough, so underleveled, even manipulating it. And super bombs are one of the best ways to deal with them. And this is the easiest place to buy them.
Oh, and a runner note, by the way, before I forget, is we're going to come in way under budget on this run, primarily due to the skip that we did in Gwinnett, that we kind of cheated away some time.
We can always watch the photo slideshow at the end.
Yeah, we might actually have time.
So he does want to set these up in the right spots in the inventory because of his manipulation for Gygus.
Yeah, I'll check that up. Check that out later. For now, I just need the right number.
So if you know this run well, you realize what's about to happen, and you might be wondering how Ulti's gonna navigate around that, but when we do things so out of order, you can accomplish pretty cool things in this run.
Yeah, because think about it, is we need Paula to beat the game. That's not optional.
Yeah, that's required.
And she gets stolen in this department store by a spook. But if we try to go up the department store, spawns are on, it'll be tricky. Those are pretty dangerous enemies with no armor. And my solution is we're just going to leave Paula forever with Monotoli. So say goodbye to this Paula. You'll never see her. I don't know what's going to happen to her, but she's gone. But that leaves us without Paula. So our next action has to be to get a different Paula. And maybe, have you seen another Paula around someplace?
You could go through and do all the Monotoli stuff, which would require many, many minutes of time. But there's a much simpler way to do it.
Yeah, because we're going to need to do this for the photo anyways.
So the sprite chaining that Ulti was talking about before was really required for this. There was no good way to do this before. It really was able to open up a lot of possibilities for the run. Because originally we thought the only way to quickly get to Carpainter to fight him was to have the Soundstone and go out of bounds. But because of the whole sprite chaining thing, you can either go from one area to another area that's already loaded, or you can go load something with the town map, and if it's loaded up at the same time as another place that's useful for you, you can go that way.
Yeah, and this is really interesting because though it loads up with the sprites, the palettes aren't what those sprites expect. So you're about to see the hidden man in Moonside, what he looks like for real. Like, this is almost like a identity reveal here. Get ready for it. If you ever wondered, that's what the invisible man looks like in the hidden room.
That's really cool.
Mystery solved, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the same sprite that says he farts in the Tucson Theater. That's how I always remember that sprite. He's the gross one.
So it does still take a while to walk here, but it's still going to save a ton of time over walking all the way through Peaceful Rest Valley and Happy Happy Village to get to Carpainter. And Carpainter is required. It's required because you need to be Carpainter to rescue Paula the proper way, and it's required to rescue Paula to get a couple photos.
As you can see, another palette difference is the ones you can actually fight show up.
Yeah.
That looks even creepier than the original.
And now we're gonna explode Carpainter. Like we have an extra multi-bottle rocket that we don't need anymore. So he has 260 HP ish, and we're just gonna explode him.
All the revenge for those glitchless runs with 20 missed reflects.
Yes. Goodbye.
Good riddance.
That's why I still have the Franklin badge on Ness as well, because if I had moved that to Paula, I would actually soft lock the run.
Yeah,
here.
that's a good point. Yeah, if when you go to talk to Carpainter, like the Franklin badge isn't required for the fight itself. It helps in a normal playthrough. But what happens is you talk to Carpainter, and he zaps you to see if you have the Franklin badge. And if you don't, it puts you outside. And if you do things too out of order, it can actually like zap you into a clone of Carpainter that's standing right in your spot, and you literally can't even move.
It's like he beats you by zapping you out into himself. It's weird. Oh, girl.
Yeah, and NPCs can be tricky around here.
And there's still crows that inexplicably attack you like this.
Yeah.
The level 1 enemies.
Yeah, that's something we haven't even mentioned because it's not too relevant in this run, but the game works where enemies that are way under-leveled compared to you.
Did I just not get the key? Oh, no, it's
No,
on.
it just went to
yeah,
Jeff.
okay. I was going to say, I didn't see an issue.
Yeah. But so you don't have to fight a bunch of unnecessary enemies. The game makes it so they actually run away from you when you're much higher level than them. But for some reason, these crows here, they don't apply those rules to them, so they'll still come after you even if you're level 99.
I think it's called birds are jerks.
Yeah.
Simply.
Yes. But here's Paula. So as you can see, we don't need Monotoli Paula. Like Monotoli can keep that Paula. We have Carpenter's Paula now.
The best Paul of all.
That's why I said earlier. It was foreshadowing when I said she was the real Paula.
Yeah, so this photo only appears after you use the key and rescue Paula that way.
And now we want to go back to Saturn Valley. We're ready to go save the world. I'm going to do two things on my menu here. I'm going to make sure my bombs are in the right places. And I'm going to move the Franklin badge to Paula, which is required for Gygus. And let's see. That's good. Looks good. Then we also have to use the meteorite piece.
So you just come in here, take a quick nap, head back out there.
Yep, this is pretty standard storyline stuff.
Yep, also something required for every category as far as I know.
Yep.
They do try to be nice and make sure that you're not going in unprepared, because once you get to Cave of the Past, you're stuck there. Now, we know better that we would actually be able to break ourselves out with our out of bounds file, but typical 12-year-old kid probably wouldn't be able to figure that out on his own. So an interesting fact, there's a normally there's a crashed phase distorter over to the right here, and you can pick up a safety horn of life there, but when you do a glitched run, it's not there. And somebody told me, it has something to do with Moonside, I think.
It does.
Actually.
It loads in with Manny Manny's statue.
That's crazy, yeah.
And that's Airfram that
Yes,
discovered that.
that's right. Because for the longest time, we didn't understand why it wasn't there.
Isn't this another Beatles reference on this
Yes,
soundtrack?
it is.
Yeah, it's love is all you need is love. Yeah, it's fascinating how much they did sample in this game.
There's like a video where it shows like all the references
Yeah.
in music. It's insane. Some of them I didn't recognize. Some are very easy. Some are just like, wow, I would have never thought.
Yeah.
So there's going to be two outcomes here. Either my manipulation that I normally do will work, or it won't, and we'll just have to hope for RNG. So
But
I for one, hope for manipulation.
yeah, I hope so too. But if the big thing is Gygus can do one of two things on turn one, a Rockin' Alpha or a Rockin' Beta. And even if Ulti somehow doesn't get the manip he wants, as long as it's Rockin' Alpha, he should be all right. And it's slightly more likely that you get an Alpha over a Beta.
So one more out of bounds here. Ness is almost ready to not fall on the stairs anymore.
Saving the world, but not from stairs.
No prayers can help him now.
You cannot grasp the true form that is the stairs.
So it's nice you can still contact Dad from your robot form in the past.
Which reminds me, we have a $25 donation from Dad202 that says, Ness, it's your dad. You've been there for a long time now, but it's probably better not to take a break till you're done. I've deposited money towards your GDQ run. Be sure to drink water and get some rest when your adventure is over. Remember, everyone is very proud of you.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. All right, here's everything.
So Ulti actually routed walking through here, just getting rid of spawns this way, which is cool because before manipulations through here would generally entail going off screen, so you're not having any spawns, but it was a lot less optimal walking path. So the movement in this intestines room is actually pretty precise. He wants to bonk against all these corners here. All right, so here we go.
No, pretty quick. As long as I get past round 1, even if I make a mistake, it's fine.
I apologize for anyone that has never seen this game before and seen it for the first time.
Oh yeah, this will make no sense. There's no spoilers, at least, really, because
No.
Yeah.
It'll still look creepy to them.
yeah.
So yeah, we encounter Pokey quite a bit less in the photo percent run.
I'm gonna go really slow.
All right, so no matter what here.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
good.
got it, yeah.
Yep.
There's a certain damage he was looking for on Paula there. Tells him he got it.
Yep.
Yeah, so super bombs do splash damage, but Gygus is actually on a different row than Pokey, because if you try to attack Gygus, he will reflect damage back at you. But that's why super bombs are so effective, because they don't do splash damage to Gygus, and anyone can use them, not just Jeff. So that was a Starstorm Omega that he used. We never got Starstorm the way we were supposed to, so it just shows up as the Omega symbol, but we know what it is.
That's phase 1.
Very nice. We're pretty much home free at this point.
Yeah, we got. It's really nice phase 2 here because I'm only gonna have to 1 round of menuing because the Starstorm is queued up to go off here, and you get to keep your actions from the prior round, which really helps out.
Yeah, it's much more optimal that way if you can do it.
And defend. And that's phase 2.
Nice. So yeah, it's about 7 minutes or so from here to the end of the fight now. Paula just has to pray. I mentioned earlier, but we haven't totally understood why, but phase 3 seems to be tough to manipulate when you don't know the stats for sure. So this won't be manipulated here, but he'll be hoping that everybody except Paula dies. That'll be the most optimal.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Bye, Pooh.
So also this is a good time for donations.
Yep.
No problem. While everyone in the chat spams RNG Jesus, we have a $25 donation from Pidge01, who says, "Good luck with the rest of the photo percent ulti. I'm having fun watching this run and rambling in Discord about all the glitches I recognize from pajama percent. I promise I'll run it again someday."
Pidge is a pajama runner, and she's done that a lot of marathons. Great runner.
And then we have a $15 donation from Snoogans that says, "Fuzzy Pickles."
Hey, thanks, Snookins.
Tara Payne donates $15 that says, "This one's for Jeff. Go, Jeff. You can do it, buddy."
He came through on this run.
Jeff has been surprisingly good. I'll give him his dues.
We have a $100 donation from Beanopolis that says, woke up to some lovely Earthbound music. Many thanks to everyone participating in this event and those working behind the scenes.
Oh, now Jeff is dumb. It's like, well, I'm done here. Just starts planking.
You told me my thanks. I'm good to go now.
Yeah.
We have a $5 donation from Gooby that says, great job on the run, Ultimoice. Watching at home from Minnesota. Hope we can hang out again soon. Gooby.
Yep, Gooby. Good Yoshi's runner. Raced him at Midwest Speed Fest not long ago. Well, do nothing.
Yeah, when someone's paralyzed, it doesn't give you any option other than do nothing or spy. In Jeff's case, spy.
Now he feels strange and is numb. That's gotta really, really be miserable. Someone turn him on his side.
So we talked about father figures earlier. Paula's dad is actually probably the
Yeah.
best.
I mean, maybe a little overbearing, but you know, he does better.
He's very concerned. So the way that Guy gets control you on phase 3 is if he does that the exact thing.
That. What are you predicting RNG now? Like,
Yeah, if he does his freeze attack and he solidifies, then you waste a turn.
It's the magic of the beard.
James, the next time say empty turn, okay? Like,
Yes. So the good thing Gygas can do is he can give you an empty turn.
yeah, there's 4 different moves, but the Franklin badge and Sea Pendant combined make Paula essentially invincible. She's not quite invincible, but mostly.
Yeah, it would be like a better chance of winning the Mega Millions jackpot than her actually dying on phase 3.
Yeah, but instead of getting $1 billion, you just get shame.
Yeah.
You'd be the only one to ever accomplish it.
Yep.
Now we're optimized. Whoop. If I press the button the right amount of times.
Yep, so just pray it out from here.
And that's a multi-character flash you just did. It's kind of like Ness's Nightmare would have done. But the Sea Pendant protects us from that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, his only options are the flash attack, the kind of weird freeze attack that is a multi-target freeze attack.
Yeah, it's the only time you really see it too, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then the lightning attack are the only 3 things he can do along with empty turns, and the equipment you have just protects against all 3 of those, so you're good to go.
Yeah, so I guess that's the major spoiler is if you want to beat Gygas very easily,
Yes.
this is how you would do it.
Yeah, like when you go through casually and you just keep getting the stronger equipment, you might actually get rid of that Sea Pendant if you're looking at only defense stats.
Yeah, the Rabbit's Foot and the Sea Pendant are the 2 best equip items that you
Yes.
probably threw out because they have less defense than some of the other items.
So we didn't even fight Frank in this run.
Yeah. In fact, the Sharks are still ruling Winnett.
Yeah.
They get to continue their rampage.
Yeah, and the barriers are still going to be there at the bottom of Annette too.
So no one can get out, is what you're saying.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
They're locking everyone in with the Sharks. Yeah. I always like to think the Sharks kind of look like foot soldiers or something, and then that'd make Frank the Shredder, I guess, with his 2 knives.
Yeah, I can see that.
We have a $25 donation from Hassel Source that says, Earthbound is my favorite game of all time, and Ultimo runs it great. Go get it from the bottom of our hearts.
So that was the last of the people we know prayers.
Or, well, maybe we don't know them. Since we haven't met half of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Empty
Nice.
turn. There we go.
Turn.
Finally. So one more prayer, and then technically we have to throw up a peace sign because we get a
Yeah.
photo just for beating Gygus.
Because, sure, why not?
And otherwise, you only have 31 peace signs. So that's where we would end the actual timing on most runs, but this one doesn't end because there's still photos we have yet to get.
Yeah. And now we're touching the heart of Niv.
If
The
Who
fire
could this be?
mine.
I don't know. Name baffles me.
IVIEIR-me. Nimi Zet Ferind. We're almost there. Okay, I get it. It's Niv Mizet the Firemind. Okay. I love it how everyone just keeps shouting out why because of the yeet. They're like, why?
Everyone's still spamming the RNG Jesus like crazy.
This is where everyone's streams always go.
Yeah.
Kind of the pooper as far as quality goes because of all the movement that happens on that static.
You broke it.
It's done. There we go. More music.
The war against Gygus is over, but not the war against the photos yet.
Or, well,
Or the stairs.
that photo, the stairs battle never ends. It continues.
Yeah, so the spawns turn off post Gygus, and that's why I think post game is so fun in a casual run of this. You can go around the entire world and talk to everybody, and there's so much new dialogue and little Easter eggs. But obviously they didn't want random encounters getting in the way there, so spawns are going to be off. And it makes picking up a lot of these photos nice at this point.
Yeah, it'll be pretty simple. Here are the kids. They just laid them out on the lawn. They're like, yeah, just throw these bodies on the lawn and hope their souls return someday. You know, instead of taken to like a hospital or something.
Yeah. Seems a little disrespectful, the sacrifice they made.
They're those kind of scientists.
Darn. Well, I guess Jeff came back. We're going to have to deal with him again. And we still haven't met the applicant, by the way. We have no idea who that kid is.
It's like, who are you?
Couldn't you just give us the pencil eraser right now? Do we really have to go walk all around?
Yeah, because we do need the pencil eraser still.
Yeah.
It does produce a photo.
Yeah, one of the more annoying photos that you can't just get it out of bounds. You actually have to get and use the pencil eraser to get it.
And Jeff does a little dance there. I think it's supposed to be a hug, but he kind of does like the floss or something in front of you. Like, I don't even know what it is. So we do have some unresolved business over in Forside. Remember, Paula was abducted. Now, we're never going to go rescue Paula, but we're going to go beat up Spook with the Paula he didn't abduct. With this nice, charming music in the background, too. Oh, wrong place.
Didn't you do that in the record too?
Yeah, it's so easy to do. You're so used
You're
to going.
so used to monotony a bajillion times. I like the happy music in this terrifying department store.
I mean, Spook's been waiting a long time for this battle.
Yeah, when you do it late like this, you don't get that extra text when you're going up the escalator.
Plus, there's just inherently less lag once the game stops processing so much data.
Yeah.
Side Spook. That's the okay. I want you all to appreciate how derpy this Side Spook sprite is. It's maybe the weirdest sprite in the game.
It is a little derpy.
All right, Super Bomb. Go get him, Paula.
He's close.
Yeah. He might heal in this round. Nope, outspeed.
No, you got him. So, last boss down. So, if you've ever watched a PB run, a lot of times we'll do a glitch at the end of a glitchless run called Shattered Man glitch. But it can really be done on anything if you break the game like this. If Ulti were to have died to Spook there, the game would have freaked out a bit, and because it's not expecting there to be any fights post Gygus.
So all that work for this photo.
Yeah, because it all went back to the mole cave. Like, you have to do the mole cave, you have to get the diamond, you have to watch Runaway 5, you have to do all of that to open up department store. Even though you can get to department store out of bounds, you have to open it up the legit way to get that photo, and you have to beat Spook.
So more photo cleanup. Another photo that spawned after we got Paula back is the backstage pass photo.
Yeah, well, the backstage pass gets there after you rescue her, and then you need to get the backstage pass to get the photo. You know, I just thought about something. If you were to take Paula home before you did this, would it soft lock? I think it might. Because you need to have Paula with you to get that backstage pass.
I bet it would. Let's not try. I'm not that adventurous today.
So, just one more photo to go.
Well, we have two. There's one in front of the house as well.
Oh, yes, sorry. I don't think about that one because it's a requirement to get in the door, pretty much.
All right, let's go meet this guy that's been creeping on us the whole entire game. So this is why we grabbed a food item. I think I actually have an extra skip sandwich, so it probably wasn't necessary. Yeah, I do. But you need to have one food item for some point.
Yeah, cliff skips were just too good.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened.
But yeah, that's why he picked up that picnic lunch way back when.
Now we have the receiver phone.
So yeah, unfortunately, none of this is really skippable. You have to walk all the way up, load in the pencil like you normally would. You have to walk back to the front of the cave. You can do a teleport to save a little bit of time, but for the most part, it's the same as a glitchless run would be.
But just no spawns.
So it's actually peaceful in Peaceful Rest Valley.
Kind of. The music goes away, which is a little weird. So just no music. It almost makes it a little creepier.
Yeah. Very serene.
Just a nice little stroll.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about in Glitchless, but you don't actually have to go up there and check the pencil. You just have to load it into the game's memory, and that'll trigger the Apple Kid call at the front of the cave. And we do have teleport, but it would take longer to teleport to Tucson and then walk to the front of this cave than to just walk back normal.
So lazy port right there just gets us a little closer to where we want to be. Good fight, Everdread.
Ulti executing that sub-pixel perfect Everdread skip there. Hardest trick in the run.
He's still up there. He's waiting to fight. He wishes he could find a fight today.
We have a $15 donation from ShayFit28 that says, Ultimo's run at SGDQ inspired me to play Earthbound for the first time and eventually run Glitchless. I'm very grateful that I played this wonderful game and found the equally wonderful Earthbound speedrunning community. Shoutouts to Sirium. Hope you get back on your feet soon.
Well, Shay, thank you for reaching out. So the actual trigger for this is erasing the pencil. So
Yep.
that's why we have to do all of this.
Yeah, you can't just walk over there. Couldn't cliff skip over there. You can't out of bounds to it. It's only there if you actually erase the pencil with the pencil eraser. Couldn't even do sprite overload glitch and get rid of the pencil. It still wouldn't be there.
There it is. We got one more photo after this.
Yeah, and this is a pretty random one casually. Like, I don't think they would have expected a lot of people to wander up there.
So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take Paula home. And you get scolded a lot if you don't, but you know, we're gonna actually skip the cutscene that scolds us. Well, one of them.
Yeah.
No, Paula, sorry, you live with Ness now.
All her life she's been kidnapped.
Yeah, I know, right?
And now you're kidnapping her.
I didn't think of it like that, but yes, that's exactly what's happening.
All right. Photo number 32.
I mean, she's such a damsel, she can be kidnapped by more than one person at once. All right, time is coming up very soon.
Yeah, so he's going to teleport here to try to skip that extra text he was talking about. If you just walk into the door, Paula will say, "Shouldn't you take me home?"
Nope.
Yeah, and time ends when the mom text ends.
Second time.
Yeah.
And time.
Nice. 2:15:57.
Not a bad time.
That would have been world record about a month ago. By quite a bit.
Yeah, thanks to the new skips and everything, I came in way under budget. I told GDQ I was going to come in way under budget on this. But I still had to show them off. They're still cool skips. I mean, technically, we still have time left on the clock to watch all the credits, but I'll leave that up to GDQ.
I'll read a few donations while some of the credits is going through. We have a $15 donation from Hunter RNG that says, Ulti and Jams, my heroes. Such a great showing of Earthbound. Excellent job, gentlemen.
Thanks, Hunter.
Thanks, Hunter.
And then we have a $25 donation from Albion that says, this Express GDQ is like an early birthday gift. So many great runs this weekend. Shout outs to all the runners and staff that make this possible. P.S. Save the animals. Which Save the Animals is winning still. It's at $2,346. Where Kills the Animals has not changed. It's been still $1,490. So if you want that to be changed, the game is right after this. So make sure you get those donations in if you want to change the fate of the animals. Everyone's spamming E in the chat. That's nice to know. And once again, for those who do not know, this is Game Done Quick Express, sponsored by Tiltify. The TwitchCon Charity Plaza, powered by Tiltify, is home to the third annual charity decathlon, where hundreds of broadcasters will be competing in a series of challenges, from Jenga battles to ramen cooking competitions, in order to earn bonus donations to the cause they are representing. The money they are raising, as well as the money we are raising at Games Done Quick Express, is going towards the same prize pool, which will be evenly split between the 10 charities involved in the decathlon at the end of TwitchCon. The 10 charities that are participating in the charity decathlon are the Able Gamers, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Call of Duty Endowment, Direct Relief, Doctors Without Borders, Extra Life, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Save the Children, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and To Write Love on Her Arms. For more information on the charities and the broadcasters representing each organization, check out twitchcon.tiltify.com. Oh, last photo guy. Last photo guy. going to go ahead and talk about a couple of the charities that we are supporting today. Direct Relief is a humanitarian aid organization active in all 50 states and more than 80 countries with a mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies without regard to politics, religion, or ability to pay. Direct Relief earns 100% fundraising efficiency ratings from Forbes' Top Charity Navigators list of the 10 best charities everyone's heard of and is named among the world's most innovative companies in not-for-profit by Fast Company. We also have the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish is the world's leading children's wish-granting organization, serving children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Your donation will help Make-A-Wish get closer to achieving our global vision of granting the wish of every eligible child. Download our toolkit, create your own campaign, and start fundraising today. Go to streamftw.worldwishnetwork.com.
I miss you.
Shoutouts to Nimbus at the Fire Mine. Coming up next, guys, is Super Metroid and A Link to the Past combo randomizer. If you have not seen this, you're going to be in for something special. And not only is it a combo randomizer, but it's being played by our very top player in Link to the Past, which is Andy, and our very top player for Super Metroid, which is Oats and Goats. So definitely the best of two worlds mashed together. What more could you want? That's going to be coming up very soon. And I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to my lovely lady, Skybills. Thank you guys so much for having me, for hosting. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your TwitchCon.
All right, welcome back to GDQx. I am Skybills. I will be your host for Link to the Past Super Metroid Combo Randomizer, which I'm very excited for. So don't forget, we do have the Save Kill incentive right now. So right now, Save the Animals is winning with $2,376 over $1,490. Now remember, if we want these runners to go fast, you might want to kill the animals. So let's see if we can get Save Kill to be a bit closer. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick ad break.
All right, welcome back to GDQx. Quick reminder of TaskBot is coming up soon, so do not forget to get the money in for the SM64 one key. Currently, right now, we are $4,184 out of 7,500. So be sure to get those donations in so we can see the TaskBot do SM64 one key. And speaking of which, we do have a $25 donation from Nuck76 that says, more TaskBot. I would agree.